like that music?
We hired 10 strings for that. It's a great opener.
It's really good.
It's so good. Time for the BT ballot box. We're going to do this every day here between now and the election because this is going to be on top of everyone's mind here. Now, stop me if you've seen some of what we are about to show you either on TV or social media over the last little while. Take a look.
Workers need paid sick days. Doug denies them. When local businesses need help, Ford sides with big box stores instead.
Their government sent our hydro bills skyrocketing and sold Hydro One while their insider friends got rich. They criticize plans to build more homes. They fight policies that keep costs down for families.
Confession, I'm not really a big fan of attack ads, Sid, but maybe some people are. They're constantly used in a number of election platforms and campaigns, so obviously they're working in some way, shape, or form. Political science professor Andrea Perralla joins us live right now to talk about those strategies, including those attack ads. Are they working? Will they get your vote? Andre, good morning.
Good morning.
Andre, just that little snippet we played, I'm kind of with Mel in that maybe in the 80s they worked, right? Like, it was just a different time. I think internet has opened a lot of things up. Do those types of old school, for lack of a better term, attack ads work anymore in this political climate, do you think?
Oh, yes. And even if you go online, you'll see that the attack ads are a couple of degrees even hotter. So it's a more violent landscape when it comes to campaign ads. It's not as civilized as the old school informational-oriented campaign ads. So attack ads work really well. They work in several ways. Number one, they agitate your supporters. So when they see an attack ad that is attacking the opposing candidate, they go, "Yeah, I made the right decision." But it also discourages the supporters of the target. So if you're seeing your candidate being attacked or your party being attacked, it may make you wonder. It's like, should I even bother to go vote? And that's really the intended effect, I think, of attack ads, is try to suppress the other side's vote. So the less they vote, the greater the chances are that your supporters will come out to the ballot and deliver some seats.
Andre, attack ads just being, one piece of what we see throughout the campaigning. And again, we could see this writ potentially even drop today, but we know the deadline's tomorrow. We've already received, Sid and I anecdotally have had these conversations about different things that have happened to us before campaigning even officially began. I've received several door knocks over the last month, and I can say I am not a fan. Just something like that, an in-person work from a volunteer. Is that a strategy that you think the leaders should be using in this day and age during a pandemic?
It's a strategy that it's worse if you don't use it. It's one of those things that it may not give you necessarily benefit to employ such tactics, but by being absent, then you're just letting the other parties and other leaders drive the narrative. So you're better off playing along.
Professor, I want to look at the parties here quickly before we let you go here. The Progressive Conservatives in Ontario in the budget that was recently tabled basically did not mention COVID in it. They do not want to look back, and they want to position themselves as an economic driver in the province. If you were them, is this the smart play?
Well, it certainly plays to their base, which is about jobs, about trying to put in more roads, car-oriented. A lot of supporters of the Conservative government, they live in the suburbs, they drive to work. So the idea of building more roads, of supporting that infrastructure, and also just old-fashioned construction, that seems to play well in that part of the constituency.
Okay, a lot can happen in the next month. I think that's an understatement. A political science professor with Wilfred Laurier University, Andrea Perralla, thank you so much for joining today.
My pleasure.
Sid, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, we don't know. A week is like a year in politics. We'll find out what's going to happen.
I love what he was saying there, though. Like with the attack ads, it is true. If there's a party that you are supporting, you're like, wait a second, you don't love those attack ads.
But to your base, like I found that was interesting from him, to the base. And look, a lot of social media is that, right? Yeah. If you just whip up enough base, then you should be fine. Listen, I've voted for all political parties in my life. I'm kind of looking at this from a different lens. So maybe attack ads for me are a little different than for other people, but I take the point he made. It was interesting.
I find them very like, nah, like that.
Come on.
Like in a playground.
Little cheesy.
That's what it feels like for me, but that's